Welcome to a sports betting podcast from pregame.com for Super Bowl week 2010. I'm your host, RJ Bell. I'm joined by Marco D'Angelo, 30 years in the business, Vegas runner, genuine professional bettor here in Vegas, and star of the CNBC special on gambling. This is segment 4 of 6 of our Super Bowl extravaganza, and this is our first segment of 2 on prop betting, 2 separate segments. Okay, so VR, you're going to give your prop best bet right here. This is your free pick.
This is my best prop bet out of all the pages that I looked
Well, it's best early because
yeah, of course.
Because you're going to be giving away on Sunday. You're going to give away your best prop bet,
absolutely,
late stuff in your package for the Super Bowl.
Every prop that I bet is going to be in the package with the Super Bowl pick. Yes, sir.
All right.
But so far, this is the strongest one that I've gotten down on.
So since the start of football, you're 13-5 with your free picks right here, and at pregame.tv, and you have an open free future on the Saints at 22-1.
Yes,
is it 22-1?
Well, I gave it out at, I got 22-1, but I put it out at 20-1.
All right,
rounded it off. So there's 80 pending units.
So tell us about the prop.
Okay, this one is not an anti-Colt, but more an anti-Garcon. Just got so much hype after catching 11 passes against the Jets that I really think we're seeing an inflated number on his yardage. I was able to get under 62.5, and it was plus 110, which means I think it's
62.5 yards.
Yes, receiving yards, and I think it's gone even higher since then, probably. I just think when you look at his whole season, this is too much to accomplish. I think they're basing this on one game. He averages 3.4 receptions per game, and he averages about 15 yards per reception. So I think we're looking at an inflated total just on that stat alone.
Now, did you consider between the number of receptions prop and the yards prop?
That they had him, yeah.
What made you go with the yards prop?
I went with the yards prop because I think what the Saints are going to have to do is, obviously, because he was such a big part of that Jets win, you're going to want to pick one guy and try to get him out of the game. And I think that's going to be the easiest to get out of the game is Garcon. Reggie Wayne's an experienced receiver. You got Dallas Clark, a experienced guy coming out to catch the ball. So I really think that's the easiest part of the receiving core for the Colts, for the Saints to be able to shut down. And when you look at it, the guy averages, like I said, 3.5 catches per game, and he caught 11 against the Jets. But when you went back the 3 games before that, he caught 2 one game, 2 the next game, and then 5 in one of the games. So he averaged there around 3 per reception.
So one thing I like about this, and this is your official free pick for Super Bowl week, is just like we know the public likes to bet favorites, public likes to bet over. Well, public likes to bet for scoring and over in yards and props. So you pretty much can look at this prop sheet and say, where do I think are the best spots to go under? And because most of the value is going to be going under. I especially like a guy in such a big game as the AFC Championship game, having a big game and giving everyone this perception that he's this leading receiver.
Exactly, where last year, his first year in the league, he got in 14 games and he only had 4 receptions. So, I mean, he had a breakout game. I give him that. But I think now in the Super Bowl, we're going to see...
It's all about 55%.
Exactly.
I mean, you're taking back 110 is, in theory, you only need to win 49%.
Exactly. And I think with Reggie Wayne, with Collie, with Clark, I think that's where they're going to focus most of the attention.
Good stuff. Now, you make a good point, though. Props are a place you want to shop. For sure. You want to have multiple outs, not only because a lot of places don't even have certain props where there's real value. You can go to pregameaction.com and find out all the books that we trust, that many of them have some of the best selections of props out there, and you get sign-up bonuses and all kind of other stuff. All right, Marco, do you have a prop you want to... You're going to give your official free pick on a basketball game later. Anything jumping out at you?
Yeah, I have a few props that jump out. One of them is... Peyton Manning to throw a third-quarter touchdown pass. You're getting 135 on this bet. And the reason I like...
So you're saying yes?
I'm saying...
You have to lay 135?
No, you're getting plus 135.
Wow.
And the reason I like this is because the Colts are one of the best teams in the league of coming out at halftime with adjustments. you've seen it all year. They've gone in behind at halftime in games, and they come out and take control in the third quarter. So we're getting $1.35. I think there's tremendous value there for him, to look at film at halftime and, make some adjustments.
They're not looking at film.
They're looking at photos and stuff from the press
Making
box.
adjustments.
Make the adjustments.
I don't know, the halftime of the Super Bowl is so long.
He might have time to watch the whole first half.
Well, they can watch all the replays from the first half. So that's one of the props.
All right, so let me throw an idea at you. Is certain teams have a tendency to take the ball when they win the toss. Some teams defer. And I wonder, it's probably worth, for guys out there or yourself if you're going to make a major bet, is there going to be a bias towards New Orleans or Indy getting the ball in the first half, which then would mean, if we know the Saints are getting the ball in the second somehow, let's just say for the sake of argument, the way, and I haven't researched this, then Indy would have one less possession in the third quarter. So do we have any sense of, does Indy take the ball, does the Saints take the ball?
If the Saints win the toss, they're definitely taking the ball. They're not putting their defense on the field first. So you look at it that way. If they win, you know what they're doing. If the Colts win,
they might defer.
They might defer, but I would think,
which would be a good thing for you.
I mean, but really, we shouldn't speculate because, I mean, you think about it, there's stats, and that's the beauty of it. You can go back and say, okay, there's been 16 games, how many times, or 18 games with the playoffs, how many times did they win the toss, and how many times did they defer, how many times did they take it. Now, that's no guarantee, but it gives you a sense of, are you getting an advantage or disadvantage with the third quarter back. I find it interesting because the second quarter, will Manning have a TD, is minus 120 or 125. So there's got to be in theory, I guess, if the Colts are winning significantly, they're going to slow it down a little bit. But that does seem to have value at first blush.
That's the one that jumped out to me for the first one.
Okay, so I just really want to reinforce that these guys really these odds makers don't have a chance to really think these things through fully. And I'll give you an example. It's just a crazy one. Is like the Gatorade. Last year it was, and that's kind of a fun one, but last year it was yellow. The 2 prior years it was white or clear. And right now, clear, I think, and don't quote me, is like plus 450. So if 2 of the last 3 years, but then the question is, can you actually research, what kind of drink do the Colts have on the sideline? Right. So if you want to dig in, these props really offer you an opportunity to dig in and get a sense of that.
Even though the odds makers and books have gotten better at it, there are still a lot of value.
And you see big moves, that's why. Okay, so this is segment 1 of 2 on props. We're going to come back and talk more props. And remember, you can get all of our videos at pregame.tv, or if you want to download and listen, just go to iTunes and search for pregame.com.